I think that maybe our lives, the very miraculous experience of consciousness itself, is all a chance to be wiser. These conversations and, well, monologues are the reflections of the triumphs, struggles, creations, and wisdom we receive and wonder about along the way. This is a chance to be wiser. I'm Blair, and I'm so glad you're here. Can't even begin to express that my butt is always in this seat doing this when I least want to be, but just in moments I would never want to do this. True presence with life not only demands courage, but it requires it. And true presence with life inherently requires courage. And for a lot of us, there are a lot of ways we are not present with life or haven't been for a while. For me personally, absolutely. And there is this edge of a cliff vulnerability to turning the unconscious, not present with life ship around back to the present with life. Things are an adventure. Synchronicities happen to me. I'm meeting wonderful people. I'm getting to do wonderful things. I'm feeling creative. Even though all those things are wonderful, it inherently doesn't feel safe because it's fracturing an identity you've been used to and habits that are so deeply grooved in your brain and body. And I'm in the thick of this right now, and I'm not alone in it. I mean, one of the most beautiful, cool things is other people in my life are moving through this, and I've met new friends that are in a season that are moving through this where it kind of feels like starting from scratch and constantly reminding yourself that you're safe in these experiences and you're safe in this growth and you're safe in the newness, and new doesn't equal bad. And I think there's a lot to the energy on the planet and in the collective that's also moving faster. And so if we are nature and we are present with life and that's all one thing, then we're inherently moving faster with it, and that presence is being asked of us in a more concise, coherent way, that because in my experience the energy feels like it's moving faster, there almost feels like there's an urgency beneath that because the clarity of being present is so much louder. I think we're more in tune with the energy, and the energy is also moving faster. So there's this feeling of urgency. And then the irony, my friend Tahiti just wrote an incredible, clear thing about this. The antidote to this energy we're in, ironically, is softening. And especially, I mean, if you're into astrology, even if you're not, but all this Aries energy we're in now, or even just the fire horse as the year in total, that fire energy needs cooling and softening. You don't add more to the fire. You don't build the fire. Because that just creates more intensity is what Tahiti was offering. But I say all this to say, you are not alone in the vulnerability that not only these times are calling for, but the vulnerability that change, even good, positive, magical change, requires. I have moments all throughout the day lately that feel like standing on the edge of a cliff, spinning out in space. There's things I say a lot. And so personally, I've also had to reconcile that I'm just now processing a shitload of grief. Sorry for my language, but I'm processing a lot of grief and newly, and that's honestly sometimes really annoying because I feel this momentum and I feel this newness. And for me personally, there's a lot of grief that requires stillness to move out of the body. And I didn't realize how uncomfortable with that I was, especially because part of my work, and I consider myself, you know, a pretty, like, I don't even know the word without sounding so cheesy, but like diligent, experienced meditator. Like, I am, in theory, connected to my energetic, spiritual, and mindfulness practices, but I've been really watching my resistance to feeling my grief, and I learned the hard way because what's been happening is like it's been building to critical mass and then revealing itself in like a super uncomfortable way that's like unavoidable. And I'm like having a major moment in a place or situation I wouldn't want to be. And that's been really humbling. There's just a resistance to wanting or needing to slow down. And we have to learn how to ride this fire horse. And surprisingly and ironically, that's requiring softness and slowness consistently. And that doesn't mean we can't have momentum and fire also, but we have to be delicate in how we're balancing such a big thing. And it's wild because I grew up with a lot of just like major body image stuff and whatever. And I'm having so many physical symptoms when my stress or holding or grief isn't having a place to go. Like even my eyes, like since my dad passed, like it's really fascinating. Like I've been getting, you know, they're just like puffy, or like I literally have eczema on them, which I've never had in my life. There's just an extreme gentleness required right now. And I went to a sound bath the other night with Shay Carter, and she made the intention for the class like preciousness and bringing a preciousness to ourselves. Yeah, I think that's also really timely to what I'm talking about and feeling of just like, yes, there's this momentum and fire and change available to us, but it's no good unless we're meeting it with softness. Otherwise, we're just like tearing ass into the distance, and that's too much to handle, you know? You can't think clearly or create clearly when it feels like that. It feels like every single person in my orbit is being asked to access more courage than ever, and being asked to navigate a lot of new feelings of vulnerability and change and all the things. So, came here to say that and take a deep breath, which I needed to. And yeah, I don't know. Also just trusting your spidey senses. I think anything that feels like forced or requires a lot of effort that isn't reciprocated is just not it. And I've caught myself nurturing some of those things too, where it's just bizarre. And I found myself really, really repelled by things that previously felt neutral. There's just like a lot of uncomfortable clarity is continuing, and it's all for the best, but boy, oh boy, is it getting high strangeness and intensity and beauty. So no, you're not alone in that, and true presence with life demands courage. So be courageous. because why else are we here?